Real Virginia is proudly produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau Federation. Since 1926, Farm Bureau has been working to preserve Virginia farms and our rural heritage. Visit our website at vafb.com.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce the wonderful local products we enjoy. Brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Farmers and volunteers are helping Virginians in need through gleaning. Web trellises are a great tool for vertical gardening. And we visit Mecklenburg County for our regular County Agricultural Close-Up feature.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Welcome back to Real Virginia, everyone. We're coming to you this week from Shalom Farms in Powhatan County. As high inflation and other factors lead more consumers to visit a food bank, Virginia farmers are sharing their bounty through the age-old practice of crop gleaning.
Gleaning is a biblical term referring to the practice of allowing people in need to collect leftover produce from fields or orchards after crops were harvested. Modern gleaning continues with a twist. Many Virginia farmers have excess produce after harvest and feel called to share. But now, volunteers do the collecting and share the bounty through local food banks.
Literally, people are going without. I mean, parents are deciding whether to feed their children or themselves. So it's pretty bad right now.
You have 80-year-olds that have worked their whole life living on a pension, and after they pay for their medications, they have no money left for food.
At harvest time, commercial pickers often take only the best of the produce, leaving much of it available for gleaning.
You're packing, you got people out there, you got apples falling on the ground because they get ripe. You've got people that's picking and they knock them on the ground when they pick.
Well, some of the fruit is too small, too big, or it might have bumps, it might be ugly, it's not marketable.
We go through and glean what is left from the harvest, and also we have been known to glean first fruits of product that maybe the farmer couldn't sell or didn't have a market for. Maybe it was damaged in some way. Sometimes hail will come by and hit it, but it heals over. So we glean those as well.
It's still good food, and you know, they put their heart and soul into it, and they don't want it to go to waste.
In cooperation with farms like Johnson's Orchard in Bedford, Virginia, volunteer groups like the Ministries will glean fresh produce during the cooler morning hours and deliver it to food pantries and those in need right away. It's a very popular service project with local churches.
The food that is gleaned today will be on somebody's plate tonight. It'll go out with volunteers to people with food insecurities.
Not only do we help actually get the food and then load it and pack it, we actually deliver it to the families that maybe don't have a car or some way that they can't get there during business hours.
To be more efficient and reach more people, farmers and food banks often connect with charity groups like the Society of St. Andrew to arrange for gleaning visits.
Lots of times, too, they offer to take the food with them so that they can see the delivery, too. It's really nice when folks come out and they see the gleaning, and then they take it back to the agency to know where the apples went.
According to the Society of St. Andrew, about 800,000 people in the state of Virginia are food insecure. 25% of those are children.
And I think the number's going to grow. I've talked to several food pantries. They're increasing their numbers because of the high cost of gas and the high cost of food.
Despite the heat, gleaning volunteers visit Virginia farmers all summer long every year. Ramey says they understand the need is there and farmers are willing to share.
The gleaning is the most important, and the sweating and that kind of thing is just a sidetrack. It's just a distraction.
The families get the food very quickly. There's no, you must do this form. A lot of times with food stamps and other programs, there's a lot that the family has to go through, and this makes it easier when a family's in a crisis.
Not only does gleaning provide valuable nutrition, it also helps groups like the Gate Ministry Church build a better sense of community, while also instilling values in a younger generation.
A lot of them have a heart for service, and a lot of them have younger children that they want to share the experience with, the experience of giving, the experience of service with them. So many times they'll bring their children or their grandchildren.
to give back. I think it's so important. I have 2 boys. I bring them here because it's important for them to learn that young.
Although what is collected this day cannot be sold commercially, it's still healthy, nutritious food. Orchard owner Danny Lee Johnson is always glad to share his harvest.
It's always a pleasure to see something that we know is going to go to waste be used, because the good Lord didn't mean for that to lay on the ground and go bad.
Virginia farmers open their operations to gleaners across the state. If you would like to organize or serve on a gleaning crew in your area, visit endhunger.org. In Bedford County, Virginia, this is Barry Ridgeway reporting.
Donating surplus crops to food banks is not a new practice among Virginia farmers, but farmers can incur some costs in the process. The Virginia Farm Bureau Federation and other agriculture groups asked for help, and several years ago the Virginia General Assembly passed legislation offering a state tax credit for farmers of up to 30% of the fair market value of the donated food. The credit is limited to $5,000 a year per operation. As high inflation hits farmers and consumers alike, every penny helps. Often, these donated crops are a significant source of produce for food bank clients.
Hi, today we're going to be talking about a trellis system for vertical gardening from the ground up. Please stay tuned.
We're stronger together, especially at this difficult time. For over 90 years, we've watched our membership grow, and we're honored to be part of such a special community. Thank you to the farmers who provide for us every day. Virginia Farm Bureau is proud to serve our members, their families, and to give back to our local communities. That's the Farm Bureau way.
Vegetable gardeners know it's important to keep their produce off the ground. Chris Mullins with Virginia Cooperative Extension shows us an easy and affordable trellis method from the ground up.
Hello and welcome. Today we're at the Fauquier Education Farm. We're here with Mr. Jim Hankins, the Executive Director of the farm. Jim, today we're talking about a vertical trellis system, maybe for some vertical gardening. Tell me what you've got here and what you're growing.
Well, you know, there are an awful lot of vining plants like these cucumbers that will actually do better if you go vertical instead of letting them spread out. Folks that are limited in space, it's a wonderful way to, take advantage of that vertical space, and it's super easy. You can get it from a lot of plant supply, good gardening catalogs. Right. This plant support netting. Okay. It's really inexpensive and it works really well. Cucumbers, winter squash, anything that's got a long vine that will climb, boy, this stuff, it just helps so much.
It makes sense, and I really love the way you've got it put up there and held up by strings, and the cucumbers are just holding on to it, really. Just a little bit of training, I bet, and it just climbs up it.
You get nice, long, straight fruit, right, and they're clean. Yeah. It helps with less disease pressure, keeping the plants clean, better airflow, and it's easier to find the fruit. And I'm at the age where anytime I can harvest standing up, I'm in a better place.
I got you. Me too. Well, I love the way you've got trellis to this greenhouse here. But now, if we wanted to do this outside in a garden, how would you set it up out there?
A couple vertical poles. Okay. You need to remember outside, you're going to have to go through a thunderstorm. We had a big thunderstorm last night, so good firm vertical supports on the ends. And then a clothesline, anything like that. Okay. You want to support it in multiple places because, this row of cucumbers, we can get 200 pounds of cucumbers off of here twice a week, and there's a lot of weight on this.
I can see that. A lot of weight, and storms could blow it over, so you got to really make sure it's pretty strong.
Yeah, the netting can support the weight as long as you're supporting the netting.
Okay. And once you've got the netting, you can, I guess, use year after year. And
Yes.
especially once you've got the posts in,
Yep.
you can keep using it for.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the truth is I let the netting go because of not having to clean out all of those vines. But the upright rigid supports you definitely can and should use year after year.
Gotcha.
You
Makes
know.
sense. That makes perfect sense. Well, what a great way to trellis and get that vertical growth going.
And a great way to save space.
I love it. Well, Jim, thank you so much for letting us come out and seeing how you're growing vertically.
Always a pleasure.
Well, for more information about how to grow your garden vertically, contact your local county extension office and talk to a master gardener. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.
From the Ground Up is presented with the generous advice and assistance of Virginia Cooperative Extension. Visit their website at ext.vt.edu.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Coming up on Heart of the Home, vanilla bean panna cotta. Stay with us.
And now, a sneak peek into a day in the life of a Virginia dairy cow. They get their day started. They have some lunch. Get some exercise. Spend time with their friends. And then end their day with dairy sweet dreams. Real dairy, real life, real delicious.
Fresh summer berries make for delicious desserts. Chef Tammy Brawley has a dairy treat made with Virginia berries in the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen, and I'm here today to show you a delicious summer refreshing dessert. This is panna cotta, and we're going to be working with heavy cream, sugar, some vanilla bean, and some gelatin. All right, so the first thing you want to do is add 1.5 tablespoons of water to your gelatin. We're not going to stir it. You want it to sit, cover it, and you want it to sit for about 10 minutes. So while that's going on, I'll go ahead and turn my little burner on here. Don't want this too high at all. You really don't want your heavy cream to boil because it will separate. So we're letting that warm up just a little bit. We're going to put 2 cups of heavy cream in. To that, we're going to add about 1/4 cup of sugar. We're going to work with one of my favorite ingredients to work with, and that is a fresh vanilla bean. Vanilla beans are actually hand harvested from the orchid plants, and it is one of the most expensive spices out there. A whole one looks just like this, and it should be nice and shiny and sticky. For this particular recipe, we only need about 1/4 of a vanilla bean. I've already got this split, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to take the blunt side of my knife, and I'm going to scrape down where I've split it. You can see where it's opening there. And I'm going to drop the pod as well and the seeds into my pot of cream. I'm going to take a whisk. You really do want to make sure you get every bit of those vanilla bean seeds. We're going to stir this around. The sugar is going to feel a little gritty because it hasn't melted yet, so that's what you're looking for. You don't want that to feel gritty. You also do not want the heavy cream to boil. You want it to come to kind of a simmer. You'll see little bubbles around the edges. All right, so now our gelatin has sat for about 10 minutes in the water, and our cream has simmered with the vanilla bean and the sugar. And now what you want to do is scrape the gelatin into your custard mixture. You want to whisk that around until you do not see any lumps of the gelatin or feel any lumps. Should not take very long. Not long at all. All right, I do not feel any grittiness from the sugar. So now we're going to pour this into a measure with a spout. Let's see if we can do this without making a mess. No promises. There is no need to strain this, but you would want to remove that vanilla bean pod before you poured it into the ramekins. You have ramekins waiting on the side there. You want to pour it almost all the way to the top. You see these nice little black specks here? Those are vanilla bean seeds. And now what you want to do is put this into the refrigerator for about 2 hours uncovered. So now our panna cotta has rested in the refrigerator for about 2 hours, and it's not just resting, it's actually setting up a little bit. And what you want is you want a bowl or a dish with hot water waiting, and you want to put your ramekin in there, but you don't want to drop it down too far that the water goes into the custard. What we're doing here is we're kind of loosening it so we can unmold it onto a serving platter. If I were to drop this, I can see I've got quite a bit of water in my bowl. If I were to drop that, it would splash the water into the custard, and we don't want that. So we'll take that out a little bit. You have your serving platter ready. You can run a butter knife around the edge. I can feel that's going to be perfect. At least I say that, right? Dump it over. And if it doesn't come out, don't panic. Don't panic. Pick it back up. Come back to the hot water for a moment or so. I'm going to go ahead and run the knife under again, maybe go a little further. And let's take 2. There we go. We have a panna cotta dessert, vanilla bean panna cotta, and we're going to adorn it with some delicious summer berries and watermelon. Little pineapple, strawberries, watermelon, blueberries. Whatever fruit is in season at the time is perfect to use. All right, and there you have it, vanilla bean panna cotta with some delicious summer berries. I'm Chef Tammy Brawley with The Green Kitchen. Join us next time on Heart of the Home.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com/recipes, as well as on Chef Tammy Brawley's website at greenkitchenrichmond.com.
Milk has been a key ingredient for desserts across many cultures for centuries. And ice cream is not the only dessert you can make with Virginia dairy products. Frozen yogurt, panna cotta, cheesecake, and all manner of baked goods also rely on milk as a key ingredient. Most recipes call for whole milk for baking. When baking bread or desserts, the proteins and fat in milk produce a finer texture in the finished product. It also provides moisture for the leavening agent that causes cakes to rise. Baked goods made with milk generally taste sweeter than those made with water.
Mecklenburg County has a long history as being one of the top tobacco producing regions in Virginia, and it still is. In this week's County Agricultural Close-Up, Burke MOELLER explores how farmers there are keeping that tradition alive while also exploring new opportunities.
Located in south central Virginia along the North Carolina border, even some of the locals say Mecklenburg County is in the middle of nowhere, but that's part of what makes it a great place to farm.
Mecklenburg County has long been associated with tobacco farming, but unlike many other Virginia communities that have transitioned away from the crop since the federal tobacco buyout in 2004, Mecklenburg County is still primarily tobacco country. It sits along the traditional Old Belt tobacco growing region in the southeastern U.S. While tobacco continues to be a valuable crop, local farmers have been harvesting less in recent years as they switch to other commodities.
We're very diversified, grow a lot of soybeans. Beans are up right now, grow some corn, wheat, but tobacco is the main, your cash crop. And the only thing I think right now that's keeping us in a worldwide market is because we're in the Old Belt and we grow a quality of tobacco that the smoking characteristics and the flavor and all, you can't grow it anywhere else in the world.
Moody has lived in the county his whole life. One of the biggest changes he's seen is an influx of new residents brought about by the development of Lake Gaston in the 1960s. Created when the Roanoke River was dammed to prevent flooding, the lake has attracted many part-time residents who own vacation homes. Some of these new residents end up retiring to the area and often visit Rosemont Winery in the northern part of the county. Stephen Rose grew up in Mecklenburg County, left for a career with Dow Chemical, and returned home to start a vineyard venture with his family.
My family's been here since 1858. We are a century farm. I'm the 5th generation. My son Justin is the winemaker. He's the 6th, and hopefully we've got some grandchildren to be the 7th generation. I didn't want to do tobacco or cows. Had done that. I wanted something else that could challenge me. I found out that Virginia was putting a lot of emphasis on growing wine grapes. In fact, we have about 1,400 wine club members. And for a winery that's basically in the middle of nowhere, that's pretty good.
Rose bottled his first wine in 2008, marking 150 years that his family has farmed their land. They allow club members to adopt a row and plant 6 vines of their own to give them a stake in the winery's success. But even with the success of agritourism operations like this, tobacco is still king in Mecklenburg County. There are a total of 512 farms in Mecklenburg County, covering 141,000 acres. The market value of all agricultural products is $49,966,000. Crops make up the vast majority of that, bringing in just over $45 million. Tobacco accounts for $29,688,000. Grains bring in $7,559,000, while nurseries and greenhouses produce $4,063,000. Hay and other crops bring in $2,359,000. Livestock accounts for $4,964,000, with cattle and calves bringing in $3,893,000. This is a community where agriculture is highly valued.
Agriculture, especially grain, has really grown a lot in the last 15 to 20 years in Mecklenburg County. They always say if it was somebody's yard, they planted in soybeans here because you can't find hardly land in Mecklenburg County, because if it's agricultural land in Mecklenburg County sitting idle, it's rare somewhere. Most of it's in production, whether it be hay, grain, or tobacco.
Except for attending college, Sterling Wilkinson has farmed here all his life. The third-generation tobacco farmer tried growing hemp after it was legalized. He was successful at growing the crop, but hasn't found a profitable market for it yet. He and other hemp growers are waiting for that industry to mature before getting back in.
I still think there's a lot of potential for it, but among many other factors, overproduction and lack of regulation via government led to overproduction, which in turn led to lower prices. So the margin just isn't there. It's a very costly crop to grow, and to not get a return, that was where we decided to scale back. But I'm certainly not giving up on it yet.
Wilkinson's main crop continues to be tobacco, as it has been for generations of farmers in Mecklenburg County. Several towns, including South Hill, grew up around local tobacco warehouses. Before 2004, tobacco was largely sold at auction, as it had been for centuries.
It's still the staple of the economy, and we hope to continue to be a good producer. We have 2 tobacco receiving stations here in Mecklenburg County, which we're thankful for. It helps the area and the production. We've got 3 different tobacco companies to where we have contracts for right here locally. Some other areas of the state, as well as other parts of the East Coast, some of it's a lot been consolidated, but we're still very blessed to have two receiving stations here to where we can sell our product.
Virginia exported approximately 22.5 million pounds of tobacco from the 2021 crop. While many Virginia counties are moving away from growing tobacco, growers here have doubled down on it. That's an example of the determination found among the people of Mecklenburg County. It's not the first time they've dealt with changing market forces, and they're preparing for what lies ahead. In Mecklenburg County, I'm Burke MOELLER reporting.
We're so glad you could join us this week to celebrate all the bounty Virginia has to offer. From the kitchen to your home and garden to our beautiful wide open spaces, we are proud to say that this is Real Virginia. For everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a great week.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us, all of us. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our determination, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
We have 37 parks across the Commonwealth. Every year, 10 million visitors enjoy 600 miles of trails from beaches to mountains, hundreds of cabins and campsites, even yurts. We are Virginia State Parks.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now? Yeah.
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are 30,000 roadway accidents each year involving cars and farm machinery. Farmers will be moving equipment for planting and harvest season. The slow-moving vehicle triangle in red and fluorescent orange colors and flashing lights allow for quick identification. When you see an SMV sign on farm equipment, slow down, prepare for sudden stops and slow turns.
Patience will save lives. Just remember, we all need to share the road, we all need to be responsible, and we need to be guided by the law.
Motor vehicle safety starts with you.